Welcome to the Damascus Encounter, your wonderful program on television where we share beautiful stories of what God is doing or has done in the lives of His children. Life without goals is almost like life does not exist. With our goals come the different dreams that we have and we want to actualize in life. But sometimes we have the dreams and we set the goals, and Jesus comes in and is a different ball game altogether. On the program today, a beautiful story that we'll be sharing and looking into is that of Emmanuel Eigbe. Emmanuel Eigbe, you're welcome to the Damascus Encounter.
Thank you very much.
So, can you share with us who Emmanuel Eigbe is? A little bit about your background and your growing up.
I was born in Benin City, Edo State, Nigeria.
Okay.
And my parents were initially not Seventh Adventists. My mom became a Seventh Adventist just shortly before her wedding with my dad.
All right.
And the day my mom told me this story, I was amazed because she told me she became a Seventh Adventist just, I think about a few months to our wedding, through this neighbor of hers who always did not want to sell soap for her on a Friday evening.
Wow.
Because it's already Sabbath.
Okay.
And she was always baffled and said, what is special about this woman's church? You know, she would say, the woman would tell her that, no, I can't sell this for you today. Come tomorrow evening after Sabbath, that's Saturday evening. And I was like, what's the big deal? Just a soap, just to buy a soap. There's nothing big about a soap. So, and this curiosity made her to accept this woman's invitation for a 2-week program back then. And that was the turning point for her.
That was her own Damascus encounter.
Exactly.
Okay.
That was the turning point for her. Just before, at the end of the 2 weeks program experience, the revival, she got baptized into this Adventist church.
Okay.
And through her influence, by God's grace, the Holy Spirit also touched my dad, who also got baptized into the church.
Before the marriage?
Before their wedding.
Okay.
And that was how people got married as Seventh Adventists. Yes.
And so you came along?
Yes, as the first child, and we have 2 younger ones too.
Okay, so talking about growing up, as a young Seventh-day Adventist kid, what was your experience? Was it all joy, happiness, or what was your experience?
I would say it was a beautiful experience growing up as a Seventh Adventist.
Okay.
You know, back then in church, when we sing, I'm so glad He made me to be an Adventist, I always feel the gladness. You know, I compare myself with some other people, and I feel a lot of joy be a Seventh Adventist. You know, I had this passion growing up for Jesus that I never knew where it came from. You know, I remember back then, just from primary school, I already finished the entire Bible. I was at primary 5.
That was reading through the Bible?
Yes. I just thought it was like a fun story.
Some sort of motivation, and you just started reading?
Yes, it was a year plan then. I read it within a year.
Okay.
My father had this 1 year reading Bible plan, so I followed it conscientiously. And it was always fun. I read the Bible the second time when I was in GS3, Junior Secondary School 3, I think at the age of 12 too. The entire Bible. And I felt so much connection with the Bible. I remember back then when my dad would preach in church during the Sabbath day. Everybody would be thinking that what is wrong? Is this young man copying his father's Bible text? Because I already got in the Bible text, even before that was because he gets to read it. Because of this competition kind of among
So when he calls the Bible text, you're quick to read, and everybody will be wondering.
Yes, because I already know the part of this Bible that is trying to get the story it may be talking about from.
Very conversant with it.
Exactly.
But in all of this, you never thought anything to it. You just you were just doing your own thing.
Yes, I was just doing my own thing, and it was a lot of interest and joy for me. I remember I started writing stuff about the Bible, the Word of God, and my thoughts right from a very tender age of junior secondary school.
Okay.
And it was a whole lot of fun.
So, did this experience, did it set you apart from your classmates, your siblings or friends? Did it make you look weird, or
I would
how
say,
did people see you and look at you?
I would say people look at me like a unique child. My parents are always proud of me, right from growing up, even until now. And I remember back then in secondary school, I remember back then when I just entered the first class in secondary school, I was so unique that everybody knew me because I joined the press club in school. And I started casting the news every Friday in front of the assembly. And everybody said, who is this young man just coming to the school? And everybody said, they're casting the news. So I think getting close to Jesus in a way that propelled me to have a lot of uniqueness. It makes me kind of endearing to a lot of people anywhere I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So you started growing up and you were doing well.
Yeah.
You loved Jesus and you were having fun. I mean,
Yeah.
being a Christian. Then you had your goals or dreams. What was your dream? You wanted to grow up and become who?
I would say my dreams were a whole lot anyway.
Okay.
Like I remember, I said I joined the press club from JSS1.
Yeah.
And that particular encounter in JSS1 wanted me to think toward the line of becoming a journalist. Okay. Let me say mass communication.
Mass communication.
Yes, and that was always there from that time. For 3 whole years in junior secondary school, that was always been my dream. And remember back then when I finished my junior secondary school certificate examination, I cleared all A's in 13 subjects. And my teachers were thinking that, Emmanuel, I think you should go to science class since you are very brilliant.
Study medicine.
Study medicine, get it. Study medicine was actually the goal for them. My parents thought toward the same line. And everybody was thinking, go to science class. I said, no, Mom, I want to become a journalist. And they were all saying, no, why journalism? And after the whole prayer, I decided to go to science class.
Okay, so you got into the science class and then suddenly medicine didn't appeal to you, or what?
It never did, even till now. It never did. And because I was already in the science class, I knew that mass communication is a whole lot of it will be difficult now because of the whole course I'm pursuing. Exactly. Yeah. So what I decided to do is, Emmanuel, you're going to go to any course in university that will make you talk. That will make you be able to impact people's life through talking. Because I'm kind of a person that, even right from my junior secondary school, like I said before, I have friends that come to me because they need to talk.
Just sharing, talking with people.
Yes.
And, okay.
Even right in this particular point in time, people always come to me to want to talk. And I realize a lot of people really need to talk. And I realize that I just need to listen. People have been sharing a lot of personal things with me right from my secondary school days. So I felt like, man, if you're not going to be studying mass communication, because I knew that was talking anyway, I said, okay, you're going to be doing something that will make you talk. So I decided to venture into education line in university. And that was what I did.
And by wanting to study education, you wanted to be a teacher,
yes,
where you could impact on people.
Exactly.
And so eventually you got into the university,
yes,
and you got into study what?
For that particular part, I initially studied biology education.
Biology.
Education in university. But let me say I performed woefully. I think for the first time in my life, I disappointed myself.
How was that? What happened?
I would say it was more of lack of interest. I lost interest in the things that excited me. And I realized that I don't think this course is for me. And then I decided to become lazy.
And you did not see it as something that probably had to do with maybe this science, I never want to get into it, and now maybe it's all messed up?
I think it was that was a major reason, because I hated chemistry. And I had to do chemistry courses both throughout 100 level and 200 level. I failed the 4 chemistry courses I did.
Wow.
Yes. And I kept having to take courses. I never failed before until that dancing day.
So you now decided to do what?
Okay, after 4 years of studying biology education in the university, so I had an extra session. That was how woefully I performed.
Okay.
And my mom said, Emmanuel, this is it.
But you did graduate in the biology education?
I did not graduate because I had an extra year.
Okay.
After I was on my projects, but I had an extra year. And I said, my mom said, Emmanuel, this is just it for you. I don't think you are ready to continue with this. Because even if you finish this extra, you're still going to finish the third class, and that's not it for you. I said, Mom, I think you're right. So what's the next plan? She said, okay, do you want to go and take another jump from? Oh, I mean,
wow.
Yes, to go and start university all over again.
4 whole years, then you have to start all over.
I said, Mom, I can't do that. I can't actually sit down and study all over again, those secondary school courses, to go and pass a jump course.
Starting from year 1.
It's not just feasible. Then she said, okay, the other option is for you to cross over to another department in the university. Okay, that sounds like a more feasible one for me. And I sat down. I went back to the drawing table and said, Emmanuel, what do you exactly want for your life?
Did you pray about this then? Or it was just you thinking and wondering, how am I going to go about this?
I would say it was more of self-pity than prayer.
Okay.
I was feeling so hungry with myself. Why, Emmanuel, you just waited 4 whole years of your entire life. 4 years is a whole lot, because I had my life booked, planned.
Yeah.
Right from secondary school, I already planned the year I would get married, the year I would get my master's, my PhD. I had a lot of plans mapped out. So for me to have wasted the whole 4 years out of my plan, it was a whole lot overwhelming for me. And when I realized, okay, I said, Emmanuel, you don't have to be so worked up. You can still do something in your life. And that led me to take the bull by the horn and go for a new course, crossover to physical and education.
Physical
and health education.
And health education.
Yes.
Which is still science related.
Yes, okay. Because I couldn't cross to a health related course because of my background, my whole level background.
Okay, so now you came to physical health education.
Yes, sir.
And what was it like? Did it feel any different? Or what changed? The self-consciousness and then a new determination, drive, or what?
I would say physical education was at the beginning of that course I switched to physical education was the beginning of my self-realization. And I must say that I did amazingly well.
That's interesting.
Yes.
And in all of this, as you put together your thoughts, your thinking, I mean, this new redirection of mind and everything.
Yeah.
Were you conscious of God, Jesus, at this point that, okay, Jesus, you need to help me. God, I need your help. I just think if maybe that could give us.
Yes, I would say God has already been there anyway. But I would say I relegated him at the background at a point. Yes, I realized that there's a difference between going to the church, being active in the church, and you really having an encounter relationship with Jesus. During those periods in which I was in my former course, I mean, about education, I was still very active in the church throughout. I never missed the Sabbath in church. But I would say I never had this special relationship anymore as closely as I ought to. Growing up, secondary school days, the zeal was going down. And I was happy that when I started my physical education course, the whole zeal came up again.
It came up.
Yes, I started getting closer to Jesus than I used to.
So we'll hold your thoughts on what you're coming close to Jesus, the whole zeal, new direction, new course, the new you. And when we come back from this break, we'll be talking some more. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Damascus Encounter. Still, Emmanuel Eigbe sharing his story and his beautiful experience, new redirection for his life, and we continue the story. Emmanuel, welcome back to the program.
Thank you.
And so you became a newly focused student on a new course, and then your zeal and everything for Christ and passion, everything suddenly were reignited. And then, so the physical health education was a 4-year course? And you finished in 4 years?
I finished in 3 years.
In 3 years?
Yes, because I started from 100 level. Yes. But I did all my 100 level courses within those 3 years.
Okay.
Yes.
And so there was no problems?
No, not at all.
So now you graduated and it's time to face the real dream that you've always had. So you want to share a little bit about what you had planned out and how you started about it?
Okay, I will say after I graduated in 2017 and I went for service a year later, between the period of graduation and now, I had so many other things planned out. Yes, my intention was to just finish service, start my master's immediately after service.
All right.
Yeah, the idea was to become a lecturer in university. So and I knew I had to have a master's before that can start coming to reality. So, but God had other plans anyway. God had other plans because I finished my service, National Youth Service called INYSC program in the 2019 March. And the idea was that I should start my master's in my alma mater at the same year.
And you're Bafemi Awolowo University?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And I felt like, Emmanuel, you don't have to waste time. The next master's from you're taking it. And my mom kept telling me the same thing every time. And I said, yes, Mom, that's what I'm going to do. But I never knew that God would delay that possibility. 2019 passed. For reasons that I myself cannot really decipher, I did not take my master's form. Even though I intended to, but I couldn't take my master's form. I said, okay, this must not happen next year, 2020. But I never knew that 2020 is going to be another thing entirely, COVID year.
Okay, but wait a minute. So after the youth service, were you home or you
I was
started
working. I was working.
So you were working. You started working where?
Okay, I started working in just 2 months after. I started working in Adventist College, Madaheke, in Ileif, in Osun State.
Osun State,
yes. Yeah. And I would say the reason why I could not do my master's that year was because I was just thinking of, let me gather some more money.
Okay.
Yes, let me put it that way. But my mom was not comfortable with that. But 2020 came, and then COVID year started. And let me say that at that same 2019, I only worked in that secondary school for just 6 months.
All right.
Yes, because I got a job in Bako University that same year, and I resumed in Bako University November 1st, 2019.
So you came to Babcock as a worker.
Yes.
And you worked where?
I work as a resident assistant, that is a hall porter in one of the main halls.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So, and this also was just so you could raise some money.
Exactly.
And then go back for your master's degree.
Exactly. And the COVID year came, and I couldn't do my master's that same year. That's COVID year, because the whole school system was shut down in my alma mater.
So you were waiting for COVID probably to
COVID year to finish
out,
yes.
And then what did you have to do? Just waiting.
I was waiting. There was no work at that period for the whole 7 months, because Bako University had to close, just like the old Nigeria system. The old Nigeria was in a lockdown. So during those 7 months periods, that was the period at which I started journeying towards thinking about other sources of income, Okay. And I started I started getting some skills for myself, skills in freelancing, most especially, because I love writing a lot. Okay. And I didn't say that I own a blog. I own a blog which started when I was serving too, just before I finished my service in 2019.
Okay.
So those passions were things I just directed my attention toward.
So you were writing?
Yeah, I was just writing.
And you were getting a lot of feedbacks?
And I was getting good feedbacks.
Okay.
And at the point I started making some little income too from that.
Okay.
Yes.
So now, let's come to this Damascus experience, because Babcock University reopened, and then you started work, I believe. Yeah. And then what now happened to the dream of going for your master's degree? Yes,
and that was the next dream in 2021. That was 2021 dream. And the idea was that immediately the first comes out in OAU.
You pick the form.
I picked the form again.
Yeah.
And my mom came up. My mom is a person that knows how to disturb my life in terms of anything that is what has to be done. She keeps reminding me, Emmanuel, you have wasted 2 whole years after your service. You're doing your master's. I said, Mom, I understand. It's 2021 this time and nothing else. I said, okay. So my mom will keep calling me maybe 2 weeks. Is the form out? I said, Mom, the form will be out. When it's out, I will let you know. I will take it by God's grace. And I was giving information that the form will be out around maybe between April to June 2021. But something happened.
Yeah, that's what we want you to share with us.
Yes. March last year, 2021, I got an encounter. And I must say with all sorts of humility that I have never thought in my life that I would get that kind of encounter. It was in the morning, a Thursday morning, I remembered, around 10 a.m. I was sitting somewhere in Babcock University here, working. I wanted to work on a project work. And I felt like I should go through the devotional first. And I got to this devotional written by one of my friends. He used to send a daily devotional on from his own inspired writings on our daily Bible reading.
Right.
Then we were studying the book of Micah. And after reading that particular devotional, it was something else that happened that I had instead of the whole focus of devotional. And I started getting, first of all, I got some new truths concerning devotional, which a lot convinced me more of. It's also about sin and its consequences. I felt that I was not adequate anymore, because I felt that I'm a sinner, and all the wrongs I've ever committed in my entire life, or I still committing at that point, I felt, God, there should be consequences for these things, you know. But that's right up told me that there should be consequences really. But God is still merciful and loving through the consequences. And the Lord kept opening His truth to me from that devotion, telling me that, Emmanuel, yes, there are consequences for your sins, but I have forgiven you. And even when you go through those consequences, if you will go through them, I will be going through them with you. And I felt God's love in another dimension that I have never felt before.
You felt overwhelmed?
Overwhelmed by God's love.
And so, because of time, how did you now come to that consciousness of, I need you to be, I want you to be a pastor?
That same morning, as I was, have the whole experience finished, I just heard His voice, just not the end of the experience though. And I heard a still small voice say, Emmanuel, you have to work for me. I have called you to ministry. No, I can't, no, because I knew it was not me, because all my life, people have been calling me pastor at different points in time. Even the day before that day, 3 students who I didn't know before called me a pastor. So I just knew this is not, because I always tell them, no, I can't be a pastor. I can never be a pastor. My dad would keep telling me, some of my pastors, I said, no, come to me, no, I can't be a pastor. Because I have this conviction that God did not call me, and that was a good excuse for me.
So it was everything for God, but not to be a pastor.
Exactly.
Yet you had the voice.
Yes.
And you struggled with this.
I ran out.
Yeah, for how long did you struggle with this?
I ran out at that point and I said, no, this is not going to happen. And after that, I came back and I kept hearing the voice again. It was giving me promises, giving me missions. And I said, no, this is difficult. I went straight forward to my pastor and Pastor Debo, and I went to meet him and he said, Pastor, this is going on. I'm confused. I don't understand what's going on with me. And my pastor told me, what happened, man? Calm down. And I said, okay, Pastor, I explained everything to him. He smiled. He was just smiling. I said, Pastor, this is not funny. He said, man, why don't you want to become a pastor? I said, man, number one, I said, man, pastors are not rich. I want to be rich. He said, he smiled again. He said, I was any other reason. I said, okay. I said, Pastor, why would God want to call me? Why? Why do God not keep using me at the level at which He's using me? Making impact in the ways He want me to? Like, why I just pursue my dream and my goals? The man, Pastor smiled. I said, no, he said, concerning the last question. He said, do you know that out of the whole world, the Lord called the tribe of Israel separately? I said, yes, I know. He said, do you know out of the whole tribe of Israel, the Lord calls the family of the Levites for a special cause? I said, I know. And you know out of the family of the Levites, the Lord called a particular family for being the high priest, the family of Aaron. I said, no, Pastor, stop. I know where you're going to. Stop. He said, okay, thank God you know where I'm going to. They concerning the wealth or the riches you want. So who told you the Lord does not know how to bless you? So if you choose to yield to His call, He will take care of your life anyway. It was a whole lot of struggle.
It was a big struggle.
Yeah.
But you yielded.
I would say it was something that I never thought I would actually do. But I yielded in the shorter time that I thought I would.
Much shorter than you expected,
yes.
Or you thought you were going to do.
Yes.
And now, if we would just fast track a little bit because of time.
Yes, sir.
So now you yielded and you are now a pastoral ministry student.
Yes.
For postgraduate diploma in pastoral ministry.
Correctly, yeah.
And how are you enjoying that? How does it feel? Because now you are training to be a pastor. People will call you pastor. Hi, we told you you're a pastor.
Yeah, I would say number one, being called a pastor is scary, kinda.
Okay.
Because I feel I'm not worthy to be called that name.
Because of the responsibilities.
Exactly. But the course I'm studying currently has been a wonderful one. I'm doing very well by God's grace.
And you're thankful to God.
I am thankful to God.
But then your girlfriend left you because you became pastor. You want to share that before time runs out on us?
That's an experience that shows that God is still faithful, though. She broke up with me, even though there were a lot of other things that happened. But the pinnacle was she breaking up with me because she doesn't want to be a pastor's wife.
Even if you want to be a pastor, I'm not going there with you.
Yeah. And she said God showed her in her dream on 2 different occasions, though. So
that
much
she should
before.
break up with you?
No, that I'm going to tell her that I'm going to be a pastor. He said, but God did not tell her that she's going to be a pastor's wife.
And so she broke up?
Yeah.
Did you struggle with this? Did you beg her? Did you try to make her see reason?
No, because of a whole lot of things that been happening before, I felt that this was God's leading anyway, even though I tried my best to persuade her for some time. But it was not working out. I just had to surrender. And that was I surrendered to the whole God in the whole matter and accepted everything in good faith.
Okay, wonderful story, beautiful one. Yeah. In just very few seconds, yes, looking forward, how expectant are you? Because when you're done, you have to go to the field, you have to practice. And so what kind of expectations do you have? Or
I would say my expectations are God is just to surrender.
Surrender to God.
Yeah, surrender daily, moment by moment, to God's leading. I don't know what the future holds, but I have a God who knows tomorrow, and I leave my life in His hands.
Hallelujah.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Beautiful story, and I want to thank you for coming to share your experience and what God has done for you, your encounter with Jesus on the program today.
Thank you, sir.
We have heard it all from Emmanuel Eigbe, who had his own whole life planned out, what he wanted to do. Perhaps God is calling you. Perhaps you have been struggling. You may just want to yield and see how God will lead you. Until next time when we bring you another edition of the Damascus Encounter, I want to say thank you for being a part of the program today, and God bless.